Alright, morning y'all. This is the road that I just biked down to come here. It's about a 25-minute bike ride. And I'm going to show you that little church that I mentioned. And this is some of the houses that surround the church. This wall right here, the bottom of it you can see is a different type of brick than the top. And some of the walls in the town are from back when the whole village was used as a fort by the Romans. Yeah, they made their way up here. But anyway, those walls are about at least 1,000 years old, maybe older, some parts of the village older. Yeah, it's crazy, it blows my mind. Because the best thing is, being from America, I think things from the Civil War are old. And then you get to Europe and people are like, oh yeah, MBD, this place is 1,000 years old. And you're like, what? 1,000 years old? It's crazy. So that's my bike right there. And that little building that you're seeing over the top of the hedges, that's the church that I'm taking you to. So there are little footpaths all over these places. I'll show you a picture of one later. And anybody can just walk on somebody's land that has a national footpath on it. And anyway, this is the little kissing gate. There's the cows. One of them's pregnant. We saw her last week when we were coming here. So that off in the distance, I don't know if you can make that out. I'm gonna zoom in. That off in the distance is the Severn over there. And that house right there is the matching house to the chapel I'm about to show you. Yep. Look at our little buddy. Hi, sweetheart. Hiya. She's having none of it. She could care less. Fantastic. All right, so here we are. This is the little church. It is called the St. Mary the Virgin Shepperdine Chapel, as everybody calls themselves chapels over here. And it's significantly old. Look at that. And yeah, look, it's got a little chapel bell on the outside right there. And it's pretty old stuff. So to get in, you have to jump this little thing right here, which is just cool as pie. I just love it. Right, and then here's the old sign. St. Mary the Virgin Shepperdine Sunday service. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And the church is usually unlocked, I'm told. So I'm hoping we'll be able to get into it today. Let's see. And here we are. Yep, so there is the church. So there's the front of it. They got a little altar, a little piano, and you know, the pulpit Bible carrier thing. And there are the hymns that they sing. And you know, that's where the preacher preaches from. They got a little kneeling bench and offering plate. And so that's how big the place is. I imagine they could fit, what, like 5 to a seat to these first two, so that's 10. And maybe 6 or 7 to the back ones, so, you know. Maybe 50 people in here max would be cramped, but that's a lot of people to sit in this little room, but it could happen. But anyway, so, according to local record, this place was built by a man who built that house that I showed you outside around 1350, and he paid 20 shillings to have this church built so that he could attend mass on his own land. And a vicar used to live in here and keep the rest of it, and the last thing that the vicar owned was a piano stool that they sold for £45 to renovate the place. And they just renovated the church a few years ago, and it cost them £1,000 to do it. And so there's a little information about it, and a visitor book, and the prayer bulletin, and members of the church, and all of that. These are the little hymnals. Check out these hymnals. They are old school. Look at this. Common Prayer, Sunday After the Ascension, hymns in ancient and modern. And they've got the words for Holy Communion. It's really cool stuff. And on the back of the pews, you'll see that they have kneeling pads. These, I don't know how often they kneel, because I reckon my Methodist church never kneels, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So, because there is a Catholic church in town, I'm not really sure. Anyway, and when they come to have service, they open all the windows so that it doesn't get too hot in here. And you open it, and that's what you're looking at. So that right there is the house of the original man that built this church and that house together. And right over that little edge is the Severn River. Now on the other side of the Severn is where Wales begins. And that's not actually Wales right there, that's southern Gloucestershire, which is another part of England. But if you go down the river that way a little bit, if you go down that way, so that way is London and this way is Ireland. And on the way to Ireland, amongst the Severn, probably about 5 miles down the river from here, is where Wales starts. So if you look across the river, you're looking at Wales, which is pretty cool. Cardiff is probably about an hour from here, across the river and so. So anyway, yeah, that's this cool little church that they still use, and it's, what, like 760 some odd years old, and I just think it's really cool, and they leave it open, so anybody can come in and use it as they please. So I'm gonna let y'all be, and thanks for watching. I'm gonna do a little reflection for myself while I'm out here, and then take my bike ride back. So perfect.